Hello, Steve White, Steve RC9. Well, I just watched Ghosts, the UK version, all 5 seasons. Now, I'd seen the American Ghosts a while ago on TV. I just saw the first season, I think. So it was a little bit hard to adjust to the UK version, even though it was first. I wasn't familiar with it, so the characters, nothing was quite right. But yeah, I got into it in the first season, and I really enjoyed it. It was 5 seasons, started 2019, but because it's British, there was only like 6 episodes per season. Although I think the last 3 years there was a Christmas special, and I think season 5 had more episodes. I think it had 8, but it's a really good series. A lot of really good humour, not a lot of over the top slapstick, jokes and so forth. More character, more sort of intelligent, and you just sort of get to know the characters, and things are funny and make sense that because you know the characters and everything. Basically, it's a story of a girl and a guy who they're looking for a house, and they get a call, and the girl has inherited a mansion in the countryside. So they go and they decide to turn it into a B&B. And when they get there, they're unwelcome. There are a bunch of ghosts in the house. They don't want them there. And one of them actually pushes the woman out the window. And she ends up in hospital for a couple of weeks. And she wakes up with the ability to see dead people. So she goes back home and she's seeing all these ghosts. And she has to adjust to that and manage that. And at first, it's sort of difficult, but eventually they sort of become family, and she sort of becomes the mother to them all in a way, and it's kind of interesting. You've got like an old stuffy governess, you've got a scout leader, you've got a bad poet, some medieval guy who had his head cut off, you've got a Cro-Magnon guy, you've got a woman who's burned at the stake, who's very simple. Who else? Is that everyone? There's a captain from some army who might be gay, which is interesting. That's they just really did a good job of creating these characters and just making so many little jokes and so many little things around them that work because you know them. And in the end, in the last season, the woman gets pregnant, and she has a bit of trouble with the mother-in-law sort of overstaying her sort of welcome and that. And then the ghosts realise that they are doing the same thing. They're crowding her, and that she's never going to be able to find her way with her child and find the balance and all that when she has all these people in her ears and in her face. So they were trying to sell part of the property off to make money, and they ended up getting an offer to sell the whole building so it could be made into like a golf course and resort. And they weren't going to do it at first, in part because the wife actually saw them as their family and didn't want to leave them on some level. But eventually they said to her, look, you need to do this by yourself. We can't leave, so you need to leave. So you need to take that offer. And they do. They sell, and it ends up being turned into, this golf course and everything. And the very, very last scene is you see them going back and staying in the historical suite, which is basically set up like the old days, and I guess that's where the ghosts live. Although the very last joke, which just made me laugh for a good minute or so, is down in the basement there's a whole bunch of ghosts who were people who died from like leprosy and were like hidden in the basement and died down there. And they've obviously converted the cellar into like a sauna. So you see the shot of the sauna and this big guy in the sauna like laying back, and like all the ghosts, all the lepers all sitting there just talking about the sauna and everything, and how their pores are opening. It's just really it's really a funny show, and obviously it's meant to be. It's a comedy, but it's actually successful. A lot aren't. And just the nature of the ghosts. I mean, yes, they're all cliched and all that, but they go into all of their stories over the seasons, and they do a good job emotionally of exploring these characters and giving them some centre and some heart, so they're not just a joke, even though still being very funny. And we do see some of them actually move on during the series, and I'm not quite sure how that works, or why it works the way it works, They don't really get into it. They just sort of have fun. The actors are all pretty good. I mean, I found the two leads so strange to watch because I'm used to the other leads, which is I think an Indian guy and a blonde, slightly more perky girl. This British version is a little darker. Literally, the guy's black and she's got brunette hair, and it's just a bit more serious and seemed a bit more realistic and a bit more real while still being fantasy and funny and everything. But I really love the show. And I just want to do a video about it, do a little review. So I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Ghosts, the UK version. And I'm now going to try and find the rest of the seasons of the US version, which is still going, I think. But yeah, I'm going to go. Bye.